Which would you prefer to do first, area or perimeter? Wait, what did you say?
Area.
Area or perimeter? Let's do area first. And you get, when you're 7th grade, you kind of get the shortened, condensed version of most things, so you don't have to like go right through the whatever you do. If you find area of something, basically you are finding how many squares are in it. How many squares. Area is what we call a two-dimensional thing. You cannot find the area of a line, because a line does not have technically any width to it. But basically, somebody had to come up with area because, you know, let's say you open yourself up a little carpet shop, Riv. Somebody came into you and said, I want to carpet my house. You have to know how much carpet they need. And how do you find carpet? Well, it goes by square feet. You know, when I was a kid, it used to go by square yards. Which everybody says, here's a question for you. How many square feet are in a square yard? Everybody raises their hand and says 3, which is true. It's actually, that's false. It's actually 9 because it's a 3 by 3. But when carpet got to be so expensive, then they knocked it down to doing it by a square foot. Because you could get a square yard of carpet maybe for $15 or something like that. And then, you know, you think about a square yard being $45 now. That's like a lot of money. But if you knock that down into a square foot, it's only $5 or whatever it is. Anyway, that's neither. Anyways, how do we find area? To find area, it's a pretty simple little process. It is just area equals length times width. Now this is just, by the way, for rectangles or squares, whatever you want to say it is. Okay. Usually we abbreviate it as A equals LW. That's how we math people, because they just want to give you an easy way to go about that. I should have done this a little smaller. So simply put, children, you've got this thing that is maybe 2 inches by 8 inches. God bless you. Oh, I guess we should make sure we understand. Ephraim, if you see this problem in your book, what are you going to write on your paper, dear sir? You're going to draw the rectangle. You are also going to label the dimensions on the rectangle. After that, River, you're going to write the formula, and then you'll do the problem, which means area equals 8 times 2, which is 16. And obviously 16 is not the right answer because the label needs to be with this, because we're not talking about just 16 inches. 16 inches is this. 16 square inches, you can label it as inches squared, or if you want, but make sure you put on there that label. It is an important thing in the world of math. Got that?
Yes.
Now, because obviously we're 7th graders and this is not that easy, we also have these shapes here we have to know how to find the area of. Let's say this is 12 centimeters. And this is 10 centimeters, and this is 6 centimeters, and this is, oh, just for fun, let's call this 6 centimeters too. No, it doesn't look quite right. Not drawn to scale, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. Which means what it looks like isn't really what it is. We don't have a formula to find the area of an L. Or a, what type of shape is that? What would be the math term for that shape? It is a hexagon. There's no really formula for, there might be a formula for a regular hexagon, but not for this. So in order to find the area of this, what are you going to have to do? I like to call it the old divide and conquer. Which means you have to cut it into shapes that you can find the area. If you can cut this into 2 rectangles and find the area of each and then add them together, everybody's going to be happy. And it doesn't matter which way you cut this. Just for fun, I'm going to cut it like this. So we've got rectangle number 1 right here. And it goes to right here. And then we've got rectangle number 2 right here. Go this way. You find the area of each and then you add them together. which means, let's continue on our path here. Number 1 rectangle would be, again, we're doing length times width, 6 times 10, correct?
Yes.
Which is 60. So I can jot that in here. Here's my 60. Ladies and gentlemen, here is where you have to be very careful. Big dramatic pause here. Okay. When you're doing rectangle number 2, okay, the dimensions for rectangle number 2 are not 6 times 12, because 12 is that entire line. Rectangle 2 stops right here. I only need this dimension from here to here, and that certainly can't be 12, because 12 goes all the way there. How do I know how far it is from here to here? Again, you cannot go just by looks. You can't say, well, it looks like it's half, so it's got to be 6. Aiden, it is
6.
because of what reason?
It's 6 on the top of the other one, and it's only that line.
Right, because you know that when you put this line, and this line together, they have to equal 12. Since this line was 6, whoa, what's going on here? Since this line was 6, 6 plus what number would give you the 12? This also has to be 6. Not just because it looks like it's half, but because you know that plus that is 6. Alright, so then 6 times 6 is 36. And then because it's adding those together for total area, 60 plus 36 is 96 centimeters squared for the area. Das ist gut.
Yes.
Now, take out your notes under perimeter. I'll draw the same rectangle, but under perimeter, we probably should have done this first. Perimeter is the distance around. The formula that, well, I guess the simple formula, you know, this is just add up all the sides. Bang. No. If it was just a rectangle, anybody know what the formula for the area for the perimeter of a rectangle is?
Like,
Well, you've got this being the length, and this being the width, and this being the length, and this being the width. If you see in the book will give you this as its formula for a rectangle. You've got to be careful with this because this isn't a rectangle. You would technically, oh good, it's leaking in the small gym. Technically, you would have width plus length plus length. But rather than doing that, we have a more mathematical way to say that. If you have width times width, or width plus width, what is that? It's the same as 2 times whatever the width is. If you have length times length, that's the same thing as 2 times what the length is. This is the technical formula they will give you for a perimeter of a rectangle. So if you see it there, that's what it means, but it just comes from adding those together. Now this one here, to find the perimeter of that, you really can't use this because it's got a bunch of different rectangles and you can't do that there. You just need to add up all the sides. You have a 12, you've got a 10, you've got a 6, and you've got a 4. But I have to figure out what this side and this side are.
how's power doing?
What's that?
What's the power?
We've gotten a lot better with that. Back in the day, we used to lose power all the time. Just our society. Same thing using the parts of the sum of the whole thing. If this is 4 centimeters, what does this have to be to get all the way up to my 10 centimeters? This has to be 6, right? So I put my 6 over there. And then this one here, this is 6 here, so 6 plus what gives me 12? another 6. So again, please make sure you're drawing all this down and writing it down, and then when we add this together, 8 plus 4 is 12, 18, 24, carry to, what? Did you say 44? Oh, it's 44 total, got it. 44. And remember, this is not area, this is a unit of length. You're basically telling me if I were to put a, ooh, that might be a river. Almost.
That was all wrong.
No, wait, we haven't heard the email.
I haven't heard the thunder yet from that one. How far away was that there? Oh, that's a long ways away.
I shut the doors.
Anyways, remember what this perimeter is. Brady, I'm gonna close those blinds. What's the, is this a new look with the headband Nike thing?
Yes.
Oh wait, did you guys plan that? Did
No.
you just cuz or what?
She thought it was cool that I wore it. She thought it would be a good idea that I wear it today.
Did you get yours as a present?
Yes, for my brother.
Christian is such a nice man.
Yes, he is.
Anyways, remember what this perimeter is. This is like if you laid a piece of string around the whole thing. How long would the piece of string be? It would be 44 centimeters. It's not centimeters squared. You're not looking for square units. You're just looking for units of length. So again, remember the important thing, ladies and gentlemen, is to sketch those bad boys out. Perfect. Stop this.